One interesting factor that's been on my mind for many years around caribou recovery is when the whole process started, caribou are, as I think a lot of people know, an umbrella species. If you manage for caribou, you should be able to capture a number of other species under their umbrella. They're also an indicator species of ecosystem health. They're a keystone species, and let's face it, they're Santa's reindeer. So very high profile, and also their needs being wide-ranging species, dispersing out in low numbers over large areas. They've got a conservation value with that as well. So again, when an environmentalist told me one day that it's not about caribou, it's bigger than that, I have to agree, because it is. They are a keystone species. They do bring in all those other concepts. But in bigger than that, I also saw it as being bigger in that right now in this region, and again, these are rounded numbers, we roughly have about 300 different species at risk at the present time. There's close to 150 recovery plans going on in the province right now. So mountain caribou being one of those.
I'm Forrest Humphreys. I've lived in Nakusp now for 12 years. I run a silviculture contracting company here in town based out of Nakusp. I've been doing that here for 12 years. We employ between 25 to 40 people that come here and plant trees and brushing and fuel management. We do a whole range of services here.
I'm 5th generation from this area. I have 2 young kids as well who are now 6th generation. I've grown up living here, working here, enjoying everything about this area. I work for a logging company, road building company.
The Lakes Caribou Society provides an excellent opportunity for this area to provide a common voice to government, for more consultation to both federal and provincial governments. We also want government to understand that we want to have a seat at the table when it comes to recovery planning and implementation.
There has to be a razor sharp focus on stopping the decline of these caribou immediately. In order to do that, you really have to throw all of the resources at it.
I use the local land base in a variety of ways, in a lot of ways. I mean, we moved here partly for employment, but I mean mostly to be in an area where we have easy access to the backcountry. I snowmobile, I ski in the backcountry, I take my family hiking, I hunt, I fish. I use it in as many ways as I can, really.
We want to be part of the process going forward, ongoing, and we want to see herds become sustainable, stable and sustainable, and we want to be part of that whole process right through, ongoing. I mean, and we want to be able to manage caribou as we manage other resources on the land base. And I think we have the ability, we have the local knowledge, we have the local expertise, and we have the skills to be able to do that.
In our community, especially in this community, there's a huge local knowledge base, and there's a very large amount of people that are accessing the backcountry throughout the winter, throughout the summer. Okay. And I think it's important that we access all the community knowledge so that we can all work together to come to an agreement of what is going to work, rather than imposing something on us and saying this is what we think is going to work, but there's no proven track record there yet. So that's pretty dangerous, to be able to affect a community on a huge, large scale without an assurance that it's actually going to make a difference to us. Community, to educate the community so that they can be engaged. Like the Lakes Ridge Riders, of which I'm a member, recently voluntarily stopped accessing the backcountry in a location because there was caribou sighted. And that is an important, that's an important point, that we are willing to work with people.
Reflecting back over what we've been talking about today, I think that when we just look at the Nakusp community, the Nakusp community itself, I was impressed how quickly the community came together, how they grew. I mean, we had people that often don't even talk to each other, all in the same room communicating. I think that's a really positive thing. At the same time, if we reflect back over the years, there was a lack of transparency there around the science and how these decisions were made relative to the community. And I see a loss of trust, and it's really it's encouraging to see now that the relationships are building back again, because that's what's needed. In my mind, communities aren't part of the problem, communities are part of the solution.
As a member of the Snowmobile Club, I've seen firsthand what we do to help contribute to the caribou and their habitat, and as little disturbance as we can. If we know they're in an area, we don't go in there, or we close it all together, and I think that really counts for something, that we know, we do know where they are, and we do know what we can do to minimize our impact to them.
This is a very complex issue. It cannot be solved by one strategy. It has to be multifaceted. It doesn't just involve land closure. Land closure alone has not worked in the past in this area. We have a large land mass that was closed to resource extraction through the GAR order here, around 250,000 hectares. That alone did not work. The caribou continued to decline. We need to re-examine the other management tools that can be used and absolutely use every one of them in the short term that we can.
There is no magic formula, there is no magic solution to conservation of caribou and caribou recovery and bringing the animals back. We're in a precarious situation at the moment. 25 animals could wink out within a year or two. And it's nice to see everybody come together, the government, the communities, the people, and the knowledge that they bring to the table.
Well, a lot of people probably don't know that, and why would they know that? But community forests connect people in communities to the forest through lots of different social and economic benefits. That is the bottom line.